Right, welcome back to another video, guys. So yeah, today I'm going to be showing you how to install a engineer's vice, basically. So just a small little fill-in video between the by the time we actually get the Clio started. But I just thought it'd be really good for you guys because I picked one of these up for myself and I really wanted one, basically. I've wanted one for a little while, and it's always one of those tools that you think, oh, I could do with that. Yeah, you know, I'll get that the next time I start on this project. And then as you sort of as I was personally going through it, I never picked one up, and when I was looking into them as well, a lot of them are quite expensive for the price. I just don't know why they've gone up in price so high. But basically, I didn't want any of the sort of the newer vices, because the cheaper sort of end of the scale, they don't last as long as they're not as durable, if you like. So I've always worked with a lot of the older vices from school. My granddad and my stepdad as well has got a older vice, and they've always been handed down, or they're just from that period of time. So I think they're sort of around the 50s, 60s, maybe 40s even, some of them. But I went and picked one of these up, and luckily it was very, very close to me. Some of you might know the brand, but it's a Woden 186B/2 model. And yeah, I don't really know much about this particular model, but I know of the Record, and these are not far off that sort of brand. And yeah, they're just a lot more durable, a lot better made, if you like, and they can stand up to a lot more punishment, which is what I'm expecting to get out of it. Because when I was doing the ball joints on Rita, it was a nightmare, because I was trying to use small little vices that I had, like this one, and they would, if you get anything like this, they basically clamp onto your desk, and obviously where you got that clamped on and you're thumping it with a hammer to try and get trying to get the Powerflex wishbones in and out of the bushes, you'd have to keep obviously tightening it up and putting it back on, because as you sort of hit it, it would want to come off. And I know some of you say, well, hit the other way then. Obviously that wasn't the way the arm could be held in the vice, so sometimes there is only one way you can do it, and it was hitting it away from myself. So as I was doing it, I was thinking, well, I need a better vice than this. This one isn't up to the job. So I was always looking around at boot fairs and places like that. There's always someone selling that kind of vice, or an old engineer's vice for very low money. So I thought I'd try and find one. Found a couple, but they were very big, and they were at least probably 3 to 4 times the size of this. But they still wanted probably £70 to £100 for it, which, if you look around, obviously Machine Mart and places like that, you can pick up vices for that kind of money. But things just aren't, you know, they just aren't as well made as they used to be. So, and like I say, that's when it comes back to my experience of using older vices against newer vices. I've had both. The newer ones are okay. They just don't, they're alright for just doing the small DIY sort of smaller jobs. But for doing sort of, you know, generally all-round kind of jobs, everything from welding to putting bushes in your car to just general sort of woodwork to fabrication, everything like that can all be done in a vice roughly about this kind of size. It just opens you up to do more sort of tasks. As you know, I'm always doing projects, I always like building stuff, and this is a real essential bit of kit, along with these that I bought not long ago. I've used these more than I ever thought I would, these little quick clamps, but I thought it was about time that I actually got one of these. So I'm going to show you how to install one. Dead easy, real simple, and an essential tool in any man's workshop, basically. So yeah, what we got here, I'm going to show you what we're going to go through. Nice and simple. So you'll see I've already got my holes all sort of ready drilled out, and yeah, so I've got my holes drilled out. What we'll do is, obviously what you need to do is you need to get your vice sort of mounted up, and then what you'd obviously do, you'd get your pencil, you'd mark in the holes where you need to go, mark on that one, or easily enough, I had a wood drill bit, one drill, obviously drill that through there, that's your pilot hole. And then I know I needed a slightly bigger hole for my one, and this one being a 12mm, So obviously I can't do it with the vice actually on the bench, so take that away, you're left with that. So two 12mm holes. Now what you need to do is, because I've used just basic cheap kitchen worktops as my workbench, so it's not metal or anything as sturdy as that, as your engineer's sort of workbench, but it does the job. So the best way to mount this, I found, was I had a couple of bolts. So I've got the M10 by 80 bolt there, 2 washers on it for extra security, just to give it a bit more strength across the wood, because these worktops are quite soft. So yeah, line up your vise with your holes, drop your bolt in. So that's 1, that's 2, and then what you'll find you'll need for this, so I'll put you down somewhere like there. So what you'll need for this is basically, you'll need, well, I put a big spacer on the bottom, something a lot more durable than just some wood. So I found these little packer spacers, very strong. They're about 5mm thick, so they're not going anywhere, and also they fit nicely under my bench. So one of these on each bolt, 2 more washers, M10 washers, and also an M10 nylock. So obviously you don't want that vibrating off as you're hitting it with any hammers, things like that. Obviously I've got my car behind me, so I don't want the vice to fly off in mid swing and bounce and then hit the ground and then hit my bumper. So we'll just stick that in there, do that up a couple of threads, so that's on there nicely, and then we do the same for this one. Alright, so they're nicely done up, as tight as hand tight can be. So what we need is, we need a 17mm spanner to go with our M10 bolts, and I find the quickest way is a 17mm socket on an impact gun, and just hold that on top of the bolt, go underneath with the nylock, and as easy as that. So do that 2 sides. Just tighten them up as you go, bit by bit. And as simple as that, guys. So yeah, we've got one working vice. So yeah, this will definitely make a nice addition to any workshop. Like I say, it's been really handy for me to have a vice, and obviously this little one just wasn't cutting it, so I needed another one. I found this, and they are so cheap. You can pick them up. I got this one for £15 on eBay, and yeah, it's a little bit rough and sort of scruffy around the edges, but then when you're ultimately, all you're doing in it is the odd jobs here and there, it is going to mark anyway, and it effectively doesn't affect the actual manufacturing. As long as this pin spins nice and freely, which this one does, and the jaws are nice, you've got a nice decent vice then. You know, always overlap it so that if you are doing anything in a vice, the material that you're working with can actually swing past your bench if it's longer than your bench, so it doesn't hit here on top. So you want it obviously here, so you can move down and have it further down if you're working from a very difficult angle basically. So yeah, you can give this a lick of paint. A lot of people do. They'll sort of touch it up from here and machine wall this part and paint all this part, but I quite like the old age and the original paint that's on here, so I'm going to be keeping it exactly how it is. And that's about it, guys. So yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and leave a comment. But yeah, that's basically how you install a vice, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.